Okay, hello folks. Killface of Baylor here. Let's fix that volume thing. There we go. Alright. I wanted to do a few tips on making gold. Now, the first one that I'm going to cover is that you should always do your bounties. And the reason I'm going to bother covering that is because I know not everyone does. I really should have swapped out that book before I cast my first buff. And I want to make sure my skull is there because I shouldn't need to cast it again. Here we go. Now, once you start getting to higher levels, there are some difficult bounties, and there are some stages in the mid to low levels that are also super difficult. So I'm not saying that you're not going to die doing bounties sometimes, but I am saying that bounties are almost always a good investment because you not only get whatever you would get for killing whatever it is that you had to kill, you will also get bonus XP and oh, good grief, bonus gold, as well as a chance at let's run away, as well as a chance at a good token and a guarantee of an okay token. So it's a good way to make pets and mounts or sell mount tokens over time, and also to get more gold and more XP than you would otherwise. Also, I have a video specifically on bounty pledges. See that video if you would like to see exactly what pledges are worth and how to calculate whether you're making money off of them. Now, not every, my method is not perfect, but I feel it gives you the various options that you have for how you would like to calculate it and how it would apply to you in particular. So I feel like it is an effective method to use for understanding kind of how much value you're getting and how much that value matters to you. Now, when you're lower level, you're not going to get as much as I'll get here off this bounty. However, I just had to kill 2 opponents, right? And here I've valued those orange tokens at 800 gold based off of needing to trade them for mount tokens and then sell the mount tokens and the rate at which those go. So you'll see here I got the XP, got more than 1,000 gold, and then a token that I valued at 800 gold. And you can check my video to see if I did that correctly or whatever. Right, and here we have to kill 2 eyes in Forbidden Halls again, but we've just done that, so we won't touch on that right now because it's the same idea. So make sure you're doing your bounties. Also, level up using the quests, because the quests are going to do the same thing. Give you more XP, more gold, more armor, more whatever than you would get just killing regular mobs. So do follow the quest line as long as you have one. Next, you want to be leveled up so that things like this can happen, right? You can be involved in groups to kill bosses, and you'll see as we get ready to do this boss that what we get out of it tends to be worth a good amount. Now, I want to make sure that I'm drawing fire if I can, because I want my DPS to be as high as possible so that I'm not just draining these people for no reason. Now, I'll get some gold out of this. I'll get a drop. I'm on Epona. I could sell that drop. Well, I might get a drop. Who knows? But I'll give them the drop if I get one, because I don't need it. So let's check who's here. This could be a warrior, but I don't think it is. No warriors. Okay. So my chats were off. That'll turn that one chat back on. They might be responding in say. So let's go ahead and show. Oh, sorry. Let's show all the chats. This is how you do that, by the way. Okay, somebody needed the item. So we'll go ahead and trade it for them. I don't even know that I believe them, because I don't know that they know what they need. But, as I mentioned in my #1 tip for making gold video, an item like this is not worth anything near what the what you'll get by making good connections. So I'm going to make sure that this person gets all of the warrior and druid drops for that particular armor set that I can easily find in my bag. Now, I'm not going to make them sit around here forever for no reason, but I will go quickly up and down through my bag, make sure that I see new red or green drops for that set, and now I've made a friend. Although apparently, yeah, let's go ahead and add them to the friends list. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, you can only participate in bosses like that if you are strong enough. So make sure that you're leveling up, as it will let you fight harder bosses. Here I will show you an example of a decent place to go kind of early on in your bossing career, maybe level 70 or 80 depending on your build. These are also good because you get enough of them and they turn into bounty pledges, which can be sold for 1,000 gold. I think I already gave all my discs away. I saw that I did have one oak disc. Okay, so here's a 6-star. I don't want to ruffle through my pack in the middle of filming, and if you're watching this, I'm sorry that I told you that. It is kind of true, but I did just see that I have one. But also, I don't want to delay the video for it, so sorry. Blast! Okay, I'm on the wrong page. There we go. Now I know my way around. Alright, here's what we're going to do. The skull that I have does not add focus, so it doesn't boost these skills, so I can throw this first. Alright. Now, we want to go ahead and start fighting this person here. I don't know what that person said, so I really should check, but I'll do that in a second. And you'll see, with Kiara, I got a little bit less gold, but still decent. You know, if you're talking about nothing in particular, you know, versus just a regular mob. And then I got that weapon that I'll probably keep and give to some noob, but you can sell to the shop for a little bit of gold as well. And if you get the ones that aren't needed for the quest but are still 6 stars, you'll get more gold, and you have the possibility to get a drop that sells to the shop for 6.5k. Also, this is really the best place to find Tiger's Eyes. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. So, when you go down to those rooms, if you find 4 stars, they're likely to drop stones, and one of the possible stones is a Tiger's Eye, which most players will pay about 1,000 gold for very happily, because there's not a lot of places that are well farmed where people get them. But anyway, I'll show you on the map the ends of the rooms. So right now, the room to the farthest left and the farthest right of my screen, and then this top room up here where I just was. Those are good places. Out here in Chaumont, there are defectors that might be up, so you can check that. Right, and as soon as you can start to kill these bosses, you can sell the drops. You can. So this is basically just something anyone can duplicate simply by being high enough level, and your class will affect this too. Rangers have an easier time with some bosses than anyone else. Warriors tend to be a good class to build solo. There's a very strong 150 to 160 hybrid build that will let you solo all of the bosses for the meteoric set except for Coppinger. So that's pretty strong. That's kind of nice. Oh, we want to go ahead and throw this first because there's a 1-second cast time on that. I could be a little off, but you know, it works. And now this guy's just going to drop one thing like it did before, and I'm going to be slowed, which is painful, but you saw I got almost 300 gold from that, which is great. Okay, now We're going to see if it lets me make that shot. It does not. Darn it. Ah! Well, I didn't plan that as part of the video. Sorry. Also, you see how having a mount gets me around pretty easily. Although my mount would like me to glitch. So I'm going to go to Fingal's cave and show you something here. There are pockets. Basically, all the places where you see two caves next to each other, right? So like a slingshot sort of shape coming off of the main set of tunnels. There are bears in one of those. And the bears, if you get a 5-star, it's guaranteed to drop either a skill book or a skill ring, +3 to +5. And then the very northmost room, the very southmost room, and then also the very eastmost room. Just a moment. So that, and those tend to be relatively easy. You can start to kill those probably around level 60 with the right build. Again, all this is hinging on the idea that you're following quests to level up, since leveling up lets you fight harder opponents. If you would like to know more about merching, getting good deals, Furion really specializes in that more than I do. So if you're going through here, do make sure to clear all of the bears that are in here, because if you don't, then the next time you're here, you won't have given them... What on earth? Sorry. Notifications coming up. You won't have given the opportunity for there to be more bears. But anyway, you go to those rooms. I may do a separate video on that, and it gives you some chance to get good to get skills that can go for a decent amount of gold. Okay, if you are a class that has a very good AoE skill, like a rogue or a mage, I will show you another decent way to farm. And again, you're going to need to be high enough level to survive this, but we'll show it anyway. We're going to go out to this island here, and you can just farm the island by fighting things one at a time, but really you lose the upside. I'm leaving this group. I'm definitely leaving this group. Don't want to get in the middle of trying to help people with things while on the video. Anyway, so Mage is a good class for basically going against a lot of opponents that are much lower level than you. Whereas like a warrior has a terrible AoE skill overall in comparison to other classes, and so they're not so good at that at all. And all I'm going to do here, I'm not even trying to kill these yet. I'm going to try and kill them with my Ice Blast skill, but I just want as many things attacking me as possible, so that when I do throw Ice Blast, right, it's hitting everything on the island. Now, in order to make this work, I need my energy shield to take out most of it. Anyone that evades the skill, I can go ahead and kill with my ice shards or firebolt. So I come there to that island, and then there's rooms in the pirate area. And again, people may be leveling in these areas. Do not just come through and wipe out someone's leveling mobs. That is just so rude, it's ridiculous. Don't be a jerk. Alright? Just don't do it. It's a terrible plan. Don't live your life like a moron. Your biggest, most influential, and valuable resource is the relationship with other players. Even if you're a merchant, you get the farthest by leveraging good connections with other players to get deals, and leaving them in such a way that they're happy they did a deal with you, so that the next time you have an idea for a good deal, they still want to do a deal with you. Right? You just don't have that option if you've been a complete jerk. So don't be a jerk if you want to make gold. Jerks have some ways to basically steal gold, but everyone tends to ally against you to make sure that you pay for being a jerk. All right. I don't know if I've been clear enough there, but I've tried to be as clear as possible. I'm staying on my mount because these things are enough below my level that I can still stay on my mount and win. If, for whatever reason, your energy shield isn't going to last long enough or whatever, notice how I shoot kind of a middle mob there in hopes that it will draw the nearby mobs, and often it does. So I'm going to shoot that back guy because the... oh, come on. Not cool. There we go. Okay, now that everybody's pretty much attacking me, come on. There we go. Now we want my energy shield to hold, because these things will interrupt the daylights out of me if it doesn't. And you notice how many people I killed there. Now it's going to be really hard to do on a warrior, but it's going to be very easy to do on a rogue with riposte, or on a mage with ice blast or firestorm. And riposte is unevadable, but it has no range, so they have to be attacking you. As a mage, I can actually just throw this at groups anywhere, but I get a bigger group if I get them to follow me around. And this type of farming is easier to do if you have a lot of sigils, so that if you do take a lot of damage, you can heal back up quickly. And you'll notice as I run by, I just basically throw damage as I go. And some of these are just quest drops that are going to sell for 1 gold and be a pain in the butt. And some of them are worth a bit more and are perhaps a bit more useful. Notice how I pause for the 3-second cast time of Ice Blast, just because I'm pretty sure it's going to kill both of those with 1 shot. It saves me some hot swapping. It's not cooled down yet. Ice Shards is a harder hitter than Firebolt, so I didn't do my hot swap there intentionally because it saved me from having to do the hot swap for Bolt later. Here I am doing it anyway, though. Alright. I'm not hot swapping the skull because then I have to swap to a different page to find my mount. So I'm working with my Firebolt significantly diminished in skill points. Alright. So you'll notice I can trade off. Here, I'll show you. See where the rooms dip into the caves? There's a little room dipping in there where we just were, and now there's going to be 3 here that I'm facing towards. We're going to go in and do all 3 of those, but we're going to do them separately. Okay, so first we want to make sure that everybody... Okay. Let's see. All right. Now, I think I can get these guys to follow me into the room, so I'm going to go ahead and try. And then I'm going to try to stay as close to the door as I can, so that everybody can actually reach me. Right? Pull a Gilderoy Lockhart. Can everyone hear me? Can everybody see me? Good. Would you stop evading me? Good heavens. I just want to blow you to pieces. Ta-da! And you'll notice I get a decent amount of gold from that. I get some coins that get sold to the vendor, and I get a bunch of treasure troves and things like that that are for bounties, that Darksea treasure chest. It's almost useless to me. Oh wow, I'm actually very lucky that that one-shotted. I did not expect it to. Alright, but if I add the 570 damage from those 2 pieces, plus the 8 skill points, I should actually be fine. And that guy will attack me, which will light up my skills. There we go. Oh, come on! That shows me my shield is down. So we want to be able to one-shot this because my shield is down. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing here. And I'll show you in a minute kind of one of the differences with rangers and mages and all that, if I can. These are just some very simple things. They're not the best things you can do necessarily, but you can always do them on any class if you've got high enough level, and you can get to 150 or so through the quest line basically for free. You'll have to ask some people for help, but if you do that politely, it will actually help your gameplay instead of hindering it, and overall you will be better off for it, because more high levels will be friends with you, more high levels will know your name and be willing to help you because they'll have found that you're not a jerk. That seems to be the theme of this video, and will likely be the theme of every video surrounding making golden Celtic heroes that I make, because I believe it is by far the most important factor, unless your plan is to spend real money and then not basically try and skip the social part of the game by not interacting with the players. So here we have the normal set of mobs that we would traditionally have, and then we have Captain Blackstone. He will drop more than 1,000 gold, which is fantastic. However, it is worth noting that Captain Blackstone also, Blackstorm. Captain Blackstorm is also a fairly strong boss compared to the mobs that are surrounding him, and even in my current state, I don't want to just take him on willy-nilly, because there's a good chance that he's going to destroy me. So you'll notice I pulled the mobs far enough away that I don't believe he'll get hit, although I might aggro him with the radius anyway. I don't think so. No, I didn't. Okay, good. So once everyone's dead, now I can go after him with a little bit more impunity. However, I am going to want to go ahead and just dress up as much as possible for this. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pre-swap the pants, so I don't have to do that later. I'm going to pull him away from the cook, because honestly, I don't need the cook for anything, although the cook may come chase me. But, you know, there's nothing I can do about that. If the cook wants to come chase me, he can. Alright. So because of the cast time of Blast, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting off bolt exactly when I would like. So, also on a boss like this, it's okay to auto, although I haven't tested what that does to my damage. I really should have casted bolt first there. Now, as soon as I cast bolt, then I'll cast blast, because that minimizes the amount of bolts that I do. So Stonevale is actually a good place to get gold, and I may go ahead and take them up on that. There's a clearing there that once you're high enough level, you can just use for whatever. Now, I need to make sure, there we go, that I can, in fact, throw my shield, and then underneath it I threw here. Let's make sure that I have... The lure is going to reduce his resistance to my skills, which is kind of a big deal. Right now I don't have energy regeneration, which means that I need to try to maximize my DPS and minimize my energy consumption at the same time, so that my energy doesn't run out before his health runs out. If it does, I need to use a restoration potion. Right, so one way to do that is, like, when I put on those gloves, I can do a little bit more damage for no extra energy, which is great at this point. And I've got him. You'll notice. So a lot of 6-star bosses drop 1 to 2,000 gold, even when they're not criticaling. If you can solo them, and the way that you do that is not necessarily to get to 200, although as a mage you might have to, but just to get, I don't know, 50 or 60 levels above their level with a good build. Also, at the top of the stairs in Chaumont Ravine, there is a relatively large boss who can wreck you quite a long time after. I have a video called Most Overpowered Level 60 or something like that that shows my rogue at 155, I believe, fighting that level 60, and it was quite close, and that was quite scary. Okay, so if you have a group like this who wants your help somewhere in particular, oh, he just killed that, I think. Okay, so they actually want me at Falgrin, which is over here, but out in this clearing there are several 6-star bosses that can spawn. Most of them, with the exception of Spearhorn, or its different types, can actually have, even though they have 2 types, both types are 6 stars. You'll notice the 5 stars that I fought earlier did not drop nearly the amount of gold that the 6 stars did. So I'm going to kind of just jump right in and attack that boss here pretty soon, but I'm going to do it with the knowledge that I need to wait for whoever this is to actually show up instead of just starting a fight randomly. Alright, so, and one way you can do that is, this means basically ready, and they should tell me if they're ready or not. I'm not certain that these are native English speakers. Oh my goodness, okay. I don't know exactly what's going on here. I got no response, which is not a good sign. But not the worst sign I could get either, I guess. We're going to go ahead and redo that. Let me check the map. We have someone sitting on the path, but they're not coming our way. Yeah, he's going to go in and attack. Okay, here goes. Alright, now I have to try and take aggro from significantly lower level characters, which is hard because aggro is balanced in their favor to make it hard for higher levels to outlock them and also to steal their bosses. The idea was to make it more accessible to the people who need it, but I do have relatively high DPS, so I may be able to do it. See, the lucky gold there went up to 2200. So now I definitely need to give that to them. I bet they both need. They're whispering to me, and it's making me unhappy. I wish they would use the group chat, because then we're all on the same level and we all know what's going on. So I'm not going to leave Stonevale because I need to trade one of them now. I'm going to give a few seconds to make sure that the other one's not going to respond with the same thing. And that's probably good. Okay. So, here we go. We're going to go to group. As long as I'm in the same area, I can still make the trade. All these quest drops are going to be in the other tab. We'll give them 2. Why not? Let's just make this person happy. I'm not even sure that it's a good idea. When you get to people who seem like they just want everything that you have, be worried, because sometimes they really do. But also be aware that sometimes they just don't speak English well, or there's something else at play other than they're just trying to take everything they can get their hands on. So don't be too hasty to judge, but do try and be wise. Here we have a mob that I think... Oh no, that's just a random mage. I was going to say I thought that was a placeholder, but it's not a placeholder. So anyway, all through here there's a possibility of 6-star bosses. These 5-star druids are garbage. They're for a quest, they drop nothing interesting, and they should just be left alone. Glow spell is actually a placeholder, so we will kill it. What on earth? Or it will run away. Oh, come on! Don't just... No. There we go. That clears the way for that same boss to spawn, possibly. That is not a placeholder, so we're going to ignore it. Anyway, you get the idea. As you get higher level, you can fight these bosses that are going to just drop some gold for you. And you can sell their drops. I don't do that, but a lot of times you can make more gold selling their drops. The dragon disc that I got may have been worth about 10k, and then I would have made a lot more gold selling it, and especially considering all of the drops that I've given him. But again, as I said before, I consider people's goodwill and the relationships I can leverage with players to be a far more valuable resource than gold. And for those of you saying that's easy for you to say, you're a plat buyer, I haven't always been a plat buyer. I played probably 4 years without being a plat buyer, and that was always my philosophy even during those times. So, you don't have to believe me on that, but it is true. I have not been a proponent of minimizing the idea of how much other players affect us. Pretty much ever. I feel like killing this bear for some reason. So I'm going to. Sorry, bear. As you can see, normal mobs don't really drop a lot of gold. So anyway, there's some tips. I hope that helped. Also, there is a quest, a repeatable quest to kill Grak Vileshank that is available from this guy right here. However, he's not up currently. I have the quest, which is why there is no repeatable quest thing available there, and he's in the little clearing in the middle of the Stonevale map. But that way you'll always have an X if that boss is up, regardless of your level. And when you turn in the quest, you get a couple hundred extra gold, which is always nice. Let's go check on the guy at the top of the stairs. Atracel the Invincible, or Atracel, or some version of that. Okay. Aha! Here we are. So this guy is particularly strong, which is unfortunate, and you do have to be far above his level or a great build or both. No level 60s are going to be taking him down unless it's somebody like Lava Lord or the level 60 that recently tanked Aggregoth. Again, I'm still quite impressed by that, as I should be, since it was quite impressive. You'll notice I'm doing this without pet food, without a battle mount. As a mage, I die a lot, so battle mounts are way less practical. They're a great option for a tank or a hybrid warrior or something like that who's not doing a lot of dying. But outside of that, they tend to be less than optimal. If you can get a Aeon mount that doesn't have any level requirements, has 80% or more speed. In my case, it has let's sell some of those coins. In my case, my mount has 100% speed and 50% camouflage, which makes things less likely to kill me on the way to the boss, which is super important when you're very squishy. Now, this guy is the person you want to sell, and which one of those you click doesn't appear to matter. That's the person you want to sell your drops to after level 35, because he tends to give you the highest price across the board. There are vendors who match him, but normally there are not vendors who will outbid him on things. You'll notice I do have a level 1 mount. I will trade that mount later. So this is an Ice Blast skill ring. I got that during that little farming session. I could sell it, but really with a level 1, I'm going to give it away, or I'm going to sell it to the vendor. It's not really worth much, just because you can get higher level. Really, I start keeping those kind of skill rings at level 3, which is greater. So I started this with 103k, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It may have actually been a little bit more than that, but I think it was 103, might have been 105. But, there's a couple thousand gold, pretty easily gotten. And you can make gold bossing like with endgame bosses, but that's going to be very dependent on what your server does. Right, there are some other things that you could do. You could do merchant characters. You could try and hit some particular quests. There's some repeatable quests that work really well, but if you're following the quest line, you'll get those anyway. You can fish. And really, with fishing, I will try and do a video on that separately later, but here's the gist of it, which is that with fishing, you want to get to level 60 or so. See the yellow water right there? That water is going to give you a fish that's worth 1,200 gold, and there's normally, in this little section of the river, see there's another one? There's a couple up almost at all times. And there's another one. See the normal ripples versus the little yellowy ripples? This particular stretch of water is full of prized pikes, which you can sell to that same vendor for 1,200 gold. There's some competition for that, but as long as you're level 68 or above, it seems to work quite well, and I've seen people make 100k a day without too much trouble. So that's a good thing, but again, requires some leveling. Anyway, I hope all that helped, and yeah, do post any comments below. I'll try to do a follow-up video once I have a better idea of kind of what's not widely known or what's going to help newer players. For now, just stick to the basics of following quests, and you can always ask whether a particular quest is a useful one. There are some junk quests, but a lot of the quests are pretty good. Do it the one time and watch what it gives you. If it gives you something great, it's worth trying again if they'll let you. There's a lot of quests available. I'll bet here, I'll show you. Here's where you check your quests, and as you can see, I have a lot of them, right? And I have some that are basically not checked right now, and that's just because I don't want markers for them for whatever reason, right? And your bounty quest, you'll only have one at a time, and it will say bounty like this, right? So anyway, yeah, that's what it's going to look like. It's not a problem to have tons of quests in your quest log. You're just going to after a while. Oh, look at that. Let's, while we're here, go ahead and take a look at the mini boss that's over here. It's probably the 4-star version. This is Brandon Quickblade, Brandon Quickblade, I think, or Quickblade's Squire, one or the other. The 4-star would be the Squire. Quickblade's Squire, nice. All right, so we just want to go ahead and kill this guy. You always want to do this quest. It's a repeatable, and it will turn in over here. You'll see I can't do it right now because I still need more pieces for it, but it's going to turn into this guy, and when it does, I'll get 4,000 gold for one of them and 5,000 for the other, I think. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Pass along the information to people who are starting out, and let me know what else I can be putting up that's actually helpful to y'all, so that you know, I'm actually putting out things that are helping people get where they want to get and that are somewhat interesting. Anyway, that's it. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.